Hit me with it. Straight. Got it, yeah. We're going to be pretty quick this afternoon. Thanks everybody for coming along. I've got a meeting inside and I'm going to jump on a plane to Canberra to meet with energy ministers this afternoon. So I'll try and keep my remarks pretty brief and then give you enough of a chance for a few questions. Everyone ready to go on the cameras over there? Yeah. Well, I'm very pleased today to make an exciting announcement in partnership with Australia's Minister for Climate Change and Energy, Minister Chris Bowen. Today we announce a landmark partnership, a $160 million commitment from the federal government through the Clean Energy Finance Corporation to connect the Southern Hemisphere's largest wind farm to the national electricity grid. This agreement with the Clean Energy Finance Corporation is the first of its kind. It is the first time that the Australian government has supported a renewable energy project being delivered by a Queensland publicly owned energy company, Powerlink. This project will enable the largest renewable energy zone in the nation. It is under construction today as we speak, and the huge wind farm that will power around 700,000 homes right across the east coast of Australia will be operational by 2024. The really special thing about today's announcement is that for the first time we have an Australian government that is prepared to back publicly owned energy companies here in Queensland. And that's critically important because Queenslanders have been emphatic for their support for the retention of their electricity system in public hands. The Albanese government understands the value of public ownership, and they also understand the value of renewable energy because it puts downward pressure on electricity prices. Now, we've seen the cost of wholesale electricity across the nation rise to unacceptable levels. And both myself and Minister Bowen understand that the best way to reduce electricity costs for businesses and households is to build more renewable energy. So this largest in the Southern Hemisphere wind farm is part of the first stage development at the Southern Downs Renewable Energy Zone. It could double in size with the addition of a second wind farm and potentially a solar farm as well. This underscores our level of commitment to making sure that we see more renewable energy. Of course, as well, 620 good, decent local jobs created through this project. There'll be much more to come of this. It's a bit like opening an account with a bank to build a home, to get a mortgage. And that's exciting because the Palaszczuk government is soon to announce our energy plan, and we plan to build a whole housing estate worth of renewable energy projects. And so we welcome this commitment from the Albanese government, our partnership with Minister Bowen, and we thank the Clean Energy Finance Corporation for helping Queensland put downward pressure on electricity prices.
So as you said, this transmission line is already underway. In a government release it says it was $170 million. Is the federal money funding this project now?
The federal money, the $160 million from the Clean Energy Finance Corporation, is funding the Powerlink transmission line that will connect the McIntyre wind farm and the Carrara wind farm to the national electricity grid. Without this funding support from the Australian government, this project would have been very difficult to get off the ground. Now, we've been able to have real agility and flexibility in the debt arrangements, which means that this project will see the potential final investment decision for the second wind farm come much, much sooner.
So it was being built anyway without this funding and without the connection, or was there a possibility it was just going to sit there?
But what it's enabled is us to get on and build it much more quickly, and it's enabled us to build it in a way that allows an additional solar farm and wind farm to potentially come in much, much sooner. Without the flexibility and agility that's been identified as an option by the Clean Energy Finance Corporation, we may not have been able to build it as quickly, and certainly wouldn't have been able to build it in a way that sees the additional substantial second stage wind farm come online as well.
How much sooner are we talking? What were initial projections and how much further will this be fast-tracked?
So this project is in construction as we speak, so there are wind turbines going into place today, and from a couple of weeks ago when we inked this deal with the Clean Energy Finance Corporation, we now have tradespeople out on the ground building the transmission line. We expect that this project will be in full operation by 2024. That'll be providing enough power for around 700,000 Queensland homes, putting downward pressure on electricity prices right across the east coast.
Where are they likely to be, those 700,000 homes?
Well, this connection to the entire national electricity grid means that this will be power available for Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria. Of course, one of the terrific outcomes that we have by having interconnected states is that dependent on weather circumstances and various demands for power, they go up and down in different states at different times, we can move that power alone. So again, Queensland is doing the heavy lifting for the entire nation when it comes to more clean, renewable energy.
So the power from this wind farm could end up powering homes in New South Wales and Victoria, is that correct?
Absolutely it could, but first and foremost this is a wind farm, a jobs project and on our pathway to our renewable energy target for Queenslanders, delivered by Queenslanders in partnership with the federal government.
The transmission lines and switching stations were valued at $170 million. The feds are putting in $160. Is there a $10 million gap you have to make up, or what's the difference in those amounts?
Yeah, so there are a range of complex financial arrangements that sit behind this, and I'm very happy to provide some further detail with you for you about how that will operate. But the bottom line is that this project has been enabled by the CEFC, and the bottom line is that this is the first time that we have seen the Australian government commit support to an energy project here in Queensland. People might remember not too long ago the former Australian government, the Morrison government, tried to stop a renewable project in North Queensland. They vetoed the Cabarn wind farm, and so what's really special about today's announcement is the partnership that it signals between the Palaszczuk government and the Albanese government. This is about supporting downward pressure on electricity prices right across the east coast of Australia.
Sorry, I know you have to go. Just one more. Biggest in the southern hemisphere, so it's a huge deal. What we saw a few weeks or a few months ago with people being told to conserve power, is building this going to mean that we won't see that again?
Queensland has a plan to deliver more renewable energy, more storage, because it equals greater reliability of the electricity grid. We know that there has been an incredible amount of volatility in energy markets this year. That's in part due to global factors, the war on Ukraine. It's also been due to weather factors here on the east coast of Australia. So the more renewable energy that we have, the more storage we're able to build, and the more transmission that we can deliver, that equals greater reliability and greater energy independence for our nation.
Yes?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.